Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Friday night show this week at the Picnic, Season 2, Episode 10. We've got the very lovely Sophie Clayfield on tonight, who had a wonderful win last weekend, and we'll get to that very shortly. We've just got some things we quickly need to cover. Danny, firstly, Woolamai, it got going. The track wasn't great. We got going, and there was drizzle all day, but well done to everybody. We got it
Look,
going.
the track, to their credit, the track held up.
Yep.
For the amount of rain that fell from 10 o'clock that morning through the entirety of the day. Really, really lucky. They got through the day. On the fence was pretty sticky, but look, it was up to the heavens, and the heavens let loose. So look, it was a genuine wet track by the end of the day, and everybody got dirty and muddy.
It's great.
But look,
It's a
I'm
good
glad
day.
I wasn't out there, because I don't. Even though I own wet weathers, I'm a summer rider. I don't like pulling them on. So full credit to everybody. They all pulled their wet weathers on. They soldiered on through the day. We had some wet trackers out there for the picnics, which doesn't often happen. Soph got her first winner up.
She did.
Maddie Morris got one up as well. Look, it was a ripping day under really, really trying circumstances, and full credit to Woolamai. They still had crowds come out. They'd sold all of their marquees out. They still had a heap of people turn up.
They did.
Shit happens. That's the weather. We're in the lap of the gods.
Nothing better than seeing your jockeys come back with a face full of mud. It's
I'm sure they'd be rapt to hear you say that too, mate. Like, absolutely, they'd be telling you to get next. So go call your footy meetings, let me tell you.
All right.
So
just very brief, I just want to cover something. We had young Canberra Willer on the show a few weeks ago. He had a
and
massive
he went
win.
out and won the Jericho.
Won the Jericho. I'm so thrilled for him when we interviewed him. Such a lovely young man. And I was just absolutely stoked for him. So well done, Campbell, if you're watching. Everyone was just, you're a big favourite out there of people, and everyone was just wrapped for you.
Absolutely. It was a great result. Great to see all the horses get round safely as well. And look, fortunate for them too. They all got a bit of a softer track too, to be going those miles on those legs, on a bit of softer ground. So, and to anybody who watched it, fitting tributes all around. Great trophies, great tributes to the Anzacs prior to the race and through the middle of the race day as well. What a fantastic racing idea it was.
Fantastic. And just quickly, I want to mention that a few people have said to you and me, Danny, and other people, that there's particular people we apparently haven't invited on the show. Let's just state that we have invited particular people on the show, and for whatever reasons they decline, we can't help that. And if you've got any ideas of who you'd like to have on the show, please come up to me and Danny and mention it. And
shoot us a message. We'd love to hear,
send us a message.
because we're always up to having different guests.
Absolutely.
We love trying to get everybody else on board, and we're always open to options. So we can only ask, and if they say yes, that's great. And if they say no, we go with that as well.
Absolutely. So fantastic. Thank you. And you've got some very bad news if you want to quickly get that out of the way, Danny.
Yeah, look, unfortunately for all of us, drawn Boxing Day races will not be going ahead. They have been abandoned at this early point in time. Look, the writing was on the wall probably a couple of years ago with the barriers not working, not sure whether they got fixed, but this time round, there's evidently been the curator has tried to poison some weeds. Roundup was applied. The weeds have also been killed along with all the grass. They've been trying to get the track patched back up, and it hasn't worked. It's a pretty horrible looking mess at this point in time. So they were also approached about moving the event to other courses, and unfortunately for us, their volunteers weren't interested in necessarily travelling to Woolamai, Balnarring, Yea or other venues. So Racing Victoria have taken it at this early point in time to abandon the meeting. There is a possibility that there may be something else put in the system later in the season. And there's been plenty of thoughts flying around amongst jockeys, trainers and RVL. Matt Stewart I've also spoken to as well. So there's media coverage and that on it as well. So it'll be interesting to see what transpires from here on in. But
at least plenty of notice for everyone. That's one
Yeah,
good
look,
way to look at it.
let's be honest, all of us picnic jockeys, well, not me so much this year, but all the picnic jockeys can have a great Christmas with their
Mm,
families.
mm.
And we look forward to, I think, the after Christmas meeting will then be at Wollomite on the 30th of December, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure you're right.
So
And
I've
good,
also got a little bit of news quickly before we get to Soph. Victoria Picnic Trainer Premiership. We've got Troy on top, Peter Foster second, Rebecca Weymouth, Tony Carter-Smith, myself, Andrew Dale, Don Dwyer, and David Noonan rounding out a few of us. And on the jockeys title, it's a very, very close battle. Sean, Grant, and Lee all on 4 winners each. Tyson and Dylan on 3 winners, Jazz and Deb Weymouth on 1, and there is a truckload on 2, and there's a truckload behind them on 1, snipping at their heels. So it's been really spread out this year, which we've also mentioned. So yeah, soldier on everyone. Good luck for the season.
great. It's great that it's close. Sophie Clayfield, welcome.
Hi.
And perfect week to have you on that you actually rode your first winner at Wollomite. How did it feel? Did you realise close to the line, hey, I'm actually going to win this?
I know, because I still kept thinking the horse was going to stop, so I just kept yelling at it and pushing and digging and doing everything I could. I thought Sean or someone was going to be on my inside. They were just going to get that little bit in front of me, but he had it covered, to be honest.
Well done. And
I've got to say, so very well deserved. You've been knocking on the door for a while. Told you last season, go and jump down at David and Jackie's, and great to see you get a result up for those guys. And I think I think David's comment was to you, stop fucking looking at what you look like and just get the horse there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you look like, just win.
So as I always say, when I go to load this on YouTube, it actually has a question: is this for kids? I now have to tick no, Danny.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of solos this afternoon trying to beat the storm.
That's fine.
You know.
Now, Sophie, you were telling me before we started the show that even though you won, you've been a bit naughty and you've got a meeting suspension. Which
I almost had a double, so I got a little bit carried away with the second one.
Okay. Apparently, lost count of how many whips to the horse, Danny. In fact, she said she wasn't even counting.
That happens. It's happened to the best of us. I think my record was bucking and I got suspended and lost my tardiness, and I won't elaborate on how many times I hit the horse, but yeah, I copped about 3 meetings.
Wow.
Happens to all of us at some stage. It was a fairly decent go.
I've got a horse.
I only copped 1, so I did well.
You did.
I've got a horse riding game, girls, and when you hit the whip, it actually tells you how many times. So maybe you need to have a little screen in front of you. So I don't know.
Well, that'd be entertaining. I'd love to see how that'd go with us trying to keep 2 lengths clear of the other horses as well. I wonder if we can get the beepers going up like they do in the cars.
Yes, interesting. So, Sophie, so you do track work at Mornington, and you said you live just around the corner from the track, which is just perfectly ideal for you. What else do you do during the day?
So I go out and ride for Jake and Mariah with their pre-trainers a couple of days a week, and then when I'm not out there, I will ride for David and Jackie out at their farm, and everything's all within about 5-10 minutes from home, so it's nice and handy. It's great.
Nice. And
beautiful.
How did you get involved in track work, horse racing? Is it a family thing?
No, so my family has nothing to do with horses. I'm the only one. Dad does fishing boats, and I've grown up on boats my whole life. And mum and my sister don't do animals or fishing or anything. Like they'll come and enjoy it with us, but it's not their thing. Mum's a gardener, and my sister works in an office somewhere.
Wow.
So I saw a picture of my brother riding a horse, and I said that's what I want to do. So I went for a trail ride when I was about 9. And then never looked back. One of the girls there had a son at the time doing the TAFE course and said, why don't you try? You're small enough. So off I toddled, and I went and did the first one and did work experience, and then never really stopped.
And what area were you brought up in?
Adelaide, in SA.
Okay, number 1.
Yep. So, yeah, got my first job.
What do you claim you go for if you come from over there?
So Dad goes for Adelaide Crows, so I have to go for Port.
Oh, oh, your dad. Oh my, how does that? Oh, your dad. No, no.
Go for the same team as him. You've got to have some rivalry.
Oh, that's
Strong.
sorry, Dad. That's
So
terrible.
whereabouts does your dad go fishing out of if you're from over that way? What sort of fishing does he do?
So we started out in Adelaide, and he just do one day charters out of Glenelg and go for whatever he could, snapper and gummy sharks and whiting stuff. And then they do trips over to Port Lincoln, which is about a day trip there, and then spend a couple of weeks there. Have customers come and go from there, and then do a trip home as well. And then they find out that they'd have more business going out from Port Lincoln. So after a few years, they moved the company over to Port Lincoln, and so they could do 5, 7 day charters, 3-day charters, everything like that. And they'd end up catching, gummy sharks, Samsons, kingfish, tuna. When the tuna season's on, it was big time over there. And whatever else you could find.
Yeah, Port Lincoln's massive for tuna. And of course, a famous gold medalist weightlifter came from there, a guy called Dean Lucan, if I remember rightly. Everyone remember the tuna fisherman? Yeah, he built something huge.
And they still painted all over the town.
Yep.
And
show my age.
We weren't going to say that. We'll leave that with you.
We didn't say that.
Here we go. Go on. Team up on me, ladies.
Got to team up about something.
Absolutely.
So, Soph, how'd you find the move over here to Victoria from living over there?
I probably stressed myself out beforehand, enough for the move to go smoothly. By the time I got over here, everything was in order. I started working for Tony Newton straight away, and it was just easy breezy, no worries. Straight back into a new routine. Had my own place, had my animals with me, my cats and my dog, and it was easy and fine. I'd done all the worrying beforehand.
All that preparation and worry, and you got here stress free. So how many years have you been based at Mornington now?
2 years and 2 months now.
Yep.
And Tony's been a great help.
Oh, that's good. So for the rest of us that you also cart along your other half Rowan to the races too. So you've got a designated driver a lot of the time. So does that make it a little bit easier sometimes? No, sorry. He's the designated drinker, I forgot.
He drives there and then I drive home.
That's a bit like my setup, mate. We've got to work on that. Bad planning and organisation, I tell you.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, that's bad disciplining.
So I've got to say, you've been sort of tapping on the door. You were struggling to get a few rides last year, but you've certainly got underway this year really, really well. Was it a relief to get your first one out finally?
I didn't think it was going to happen for so long. I, was closer to giving up than I was to getting a winner, I thought, last weekend. And then that happens, it just comes out of nowhere. It's just the highs and lows of racing that go with it, I guess. It will never end.
No, it doesn't. It certainly tests your strength at different moments in your career too, let me tell you.
Now, we know Sean still rides track work at Mornington. So if does he help you out in any way? Does he give you any tips or?
Not really. I'm sure if I asked for them, he would. We have a few comments here and there about horses or what's happening with the races, and we keep each other in the loop with some things. But we're too busy, doing whatever we're doing to have a chat about things.
Oh, I'll make sure he finds time for you.
It's all right. We've got it covered, Paul. Don't you worry.
Oh, that's all right.
Mel and Danny are more of my mentors these days.
And Mel
being that's not a bad mentor to have. Let's be honest.
No.
And Mel being from Adelaide. Well. Have you noticed, Danny, that Adelaide people, especially the girls, have a bit of an accent? You listen to Mel and you listen to Sophie talk. They do. You listen.
There's one word we say that you can always pick it. I'm not going to say it here, but when you hear it, you go.
They have the real country accent. And I'm
No,
not
I
saying
got
that's
told
a
we're
bad
posh
thing.
bogans, so I'll
Posh
go with that.
buckets. I like that.
That sums me up.
I thought you were going to come out and say something intelligent, like, you know, the girls that have come over from Adelaide can really ride or something like that. And he comes out with the accents. Like, really? Come on, mate.
I know, our writing speaks for itself.
Absolutely. And that's where we leave it to, too. So, so you've had a little bit of a look around some of the tracks. What are some of your favourite? What are some of your not so favourite ones this and last season?
Definitely Woolamai. Woolamai is a great track to ride on and be at. It's close to home. It's a good setup there. It's a great day out for everyone. Hillsville is a lovely place too. First time I've been there was this season. Balnearing's good. Balnearing's, Balnearing. Stony Creek and Yay.
We love
Yay was
Balnearing.
a bit of an adventure.
It is,
And-
yes, yeah.
and
It's got a
Stony
very large
Creek.
hill.
Stony Creek was a very nice drive once you get past, whereas at Bairnsdale. So next time I might take the swag with me. That's about all I can say about Swiss Creek.
Yeah,
So-
Swiss Creek's a long way from home. So on that token, Swiss Creek's probably the most interesting one you've been to so far. Have you made it to? You haven't been to Buchan yet, have you?
No.
Oh,
Or
good luck.
Druin. Or
Druin, it looks like
Alexandra.
Druin, it looks like you're going to miss out on, because I have a suspicion that after missing so many picnic meetings and there being a once a year club, they could be pushing shit uphill from here on in. I don't think their committee's actually that into having a picnic meeting anymore. I think they're more into rounds of golf. But anyway, that'll be decided by other powers, not me.
It's just
Nothing wrong with golf though.
we're just bagging all these tracks, Danny. They're going to ban this show soon.
Oh, look, it's
It's tongue
anyway,
in
it's big
cheek.
mess. It's a great big mess. It is tongue in cheek, but it's a great big mess, and it's a shame, but it's one hell of a mess, and I don't know where it's going to go to from here. So Maddie Stewart's all over it. There's a few people all over it. Mel's done a great job trying to get a few things across. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what transpires, but anyway. This weekend, doubleheader. Soph, have you got anything coming up?
I've got 2 at Balnearing because one got scratched and then I'm suspended for Yay, so I don't have to worry about that.
Nice.
Which is a bit of a bugger.
For dinner.
Probably a palmy and a cup of tea. My
Good
favourite.
So who you got at Balnearing for us?
I had Shahin, but he got scratched because he drew inside and that's not favourable for him. And then I've got Hawkstone. He's drawn outside, which is favourable for him. Apparently doesn't like being clustered up too much by the other horses. And then I've got Game Cove for Diane Clover, and she's a little ripper of a horse apparently and loves the wet.
Beautiful. It'll be interesting to see how much rain we get in the process of all of that. So, yeah, I'll fill you in on Hawkstone later. He's one of my favourites. He's a little ripper.
Oh, cool.
What about you, Danny? You've got Barringer in?
Yeah, I've got Barringer in. He's drawn 4. He's come through his first couple of runs this prep super. The rain shouldn't bother him. Whether it falls or not will be a different thing. So it's his first step out in open company. So it'll be really interesting to see how he goes. I think he should run a really good race. He should be thereabouts. So fingers crossed with a bit of luck.
On Sunday, we've got the big race, the big 3,000 metre race.
Yeah, and unfortunately, nobody's been able to get a leg around yet to see how they handle it. So that's going to be really interesting coming out with nobody having been around the track yet. And it's a big test of their fitness doing the 3,000 there. It's a couple of laps up the hill. There's a field of 6, All Too Creedy, Savvy Dan, Mr. Zigman, She Zedso, Make Some Noise, and Sestilla. It'll be an interesting crew. Creedy, the triple suit. Mr. Zigman's obviously won recently, and his form's pretty solid. Savvy Dan's had previous preps has been over those sorts of trips, but he hasn't got a rider down at this stage, so that'll be interesting.
And number 2,
Um,
Savvy Dan's actually scratched, Danny.
Oh, there you go. That's why it hasn't got a rider down.
So we're down to 5.
Down to 5 for the race. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It's
well,
always a great race. There's a few of us that have gone into bat that it should be held probably at their last meeting in the year to see if it could tie in with some of the jumpers coming back.
Yep.
But you know, Yay has the St. Pats have always had this meeting, and this is where the Sister Olive has been for years. So we'll see how we go in future, but it'll be a great race. And it'll be very interesting to see how it goes.
My boy's in there, so good luck to him.
Yeah.
Good luck to everyone. So, don't know, you don't really know whether a horse is going to handle the 3,000, especially this time of the season, but you never know. You've got to be in it to win it, as I always say.
Look, there's a couple of little tells. She's Edzo. I'm pretty sure she's been up over those trips, being from Belinda Simpson / Eric Musgrove stable.
Yep.
You would have a suspicion that she should really get the trip. Mr. Zigman's last couple of runs, he's been really good in racing. I would reckon he's got a really good chance. So
the Foster stable's on fire at the moment, Danny.
Yeah, they are. They're going really well. The horses always look great. They always present well. They always look fantastic. Dan and Pete do a great job of their horses. So it's good to see them going so well so early in the season as well. So, and it was really good to see both Belnering and Yay have some really good sized fields.
Yes.
Often with the double headers that they fall away. And this year so far they've stood up to field sizes.
Both with an extra race. They've both got 7 races.
Yeah, that's right.
Really, that is fantastic. Good.
Hopefully, with the season going forward and us missing so many, well, we've missed 3 meetings so far. If people keep accepting and there's the continued demand, that they'll be able to keep splitting a race through the season as long as they've got enough acceptors.
Fantastic.
Fingers crossed.
We've got just on 5 minutes left. If you want to fire Sophie some quick ones.
Okie dokie. Sophie, God help you. I've had a couple tonight, so look out. Hey, in case nobody can tell. Hey, Soph, what's your favourite music to listen to?
I went to Limp Bizkit last week. Limp Bizkit concert.
Yep.
So at the moment it's kind of heavy metal, but I'll listen to anything.
Nice.
Okay.
Danny,
favourite pub meal?
Quickly, Danny, you went to Foo Fighters.
I did. I went to Foo Fighters and it was absolutely bloody sensational.
Yes, I heard from people it was great. Yeah, sorry, Sophie.
Yep. Favourite pub meal, so?
It's a palmy, not a Palmer, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Chicken in pajamas.
Beer, wine or spirits, mate?
Wine.
What sort?
Red wine. Red wine.
Oh, wow. Ouch, give me a headache the next day.
Well, she said she's a posh bogan, so that fits in beautifully.
It does. Fair comment. Fair call. Holiday destination.
Anywhere with a nice beach in it.
Queensland, here you go. Yeah,
Queensland, Bali, anywhere. I'd love to go to South America.
Nice.
One day.
Seafood or pasta?
Both.
Fair
seafood.
She comes from a seafood family. She has to like seafood.
Well,
although I don't like whiting. Hate whiting.
Really?
Jeez.
Yeah, no, I grew up on that. I've eaten so much of it. No.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right. Favourite tunes for a road trip?
Oh, heavy metal or just, yeah. Not that everyone can listen to that because I'm usually the only one. Usually I'll if I'm on a road trip, like if I'm driving back to Adelaide, I'll have my laptop with Netflix and some kind of, TV show or movie playing next to me. And I'll just listen to that the whole time.
Well, I'm glad you listen and not watch it.
I was just about to say that. Don't be going through any of the traffic cameras of recent times. You'll be nauseous.
I had tons of and I've seen that 1,000 times, so I can listen to it. I know what's going on.
That's great.
Fair enough. Last movie you saw?
I think I was watching Step Brothers in the sauna today.
Okay. Favourite movie of all time? And don't say Step Brothers because you were watching it today.
That's a tough one. I'm going to change my answer about 3 times by the time this comes around. I don't know. The Notebook.
Oh,
It's a
Okay,
good
that came from
movie.
left field. I didn't
Actually,
expect to hear that one.
you know what I watched the other day? I watched The Whale with Brendan Fraser in it.
Yep.
He won the a Grammy for it or something. That is a good movie. Like, it's
Okay.
sad, but it's really good.
about a whale.
All right. What's a meal that you cook well?
Anything. I'm a fantastic cook.
Oh,
Pork belly. Pork belly
belly.
roast.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nail
All
it
right,
every time.
cool. All right. Have you got a favourite horse or a favourite horse you've seen?
I've got a favourite. He was a racehorse in Adelaide. His name was Tongzai Boss, and I rode him as a baby all the way through his career. He used to come out the gates bucking with me for his first 3 jump outs ever, and then we sorted that out, and he just kept winning races. We brought him over to Moonee Valley on a Friday night, and he won a race there, and I cried like an absolute baby, and they caught it all on TV, and everybody saw it. And he's just recently been retired in the last year or so, and I'd love to get him back, but I just don't have the time, the money, the effort, the energy to do it. So he's at a friend's place, living it up in the paddock.
Good on him.
And see, there's a proper racing story. Naughty
That's
little
it.
child makes it to Moonee Valley. How brilliant is that?
We've got
Yeah, the underdog.
just on a minute, Danny.
Yep, exactly. All right. So, what animals have you got at home?
I've got a border collie who's 3 and 2 cats. That one I rescued from the stables, and she was pregnant, and then had kittens, and then I kept one, and then she had more kittens, and I sold all of them, and I kept rescuing cats, but I gave them all away, and so I've only got 2 cats, 1 dog, and the boyfriend has a Rottweiler.
I was just about to say, watch out, Rowan. You'll be the next one she rescues and gives away.
All right. Thank
You
you
better
very
learn how
much.
to drive home for the races. Thank you,
Thank you.
Picnic Bet and Fran and Peter Bond.
Thank you, Sophie. Appreciate you coming on.
That's right.
And
Thanks for having me.
no worries. And good luck to everybody this weekend. We've got 14 races, and hopefully we see everyone out there and everyone gets a few winners.
Safe travels, people. Safe riding. Good luck to everybody. Great to chat with you, Soph. And we'll catch you all next week.
See yous.
Bye.
Bye. Cheers.